So next I want to cover, and this might be advanced, but fuck it, like, come back and play it however many times you want to, but we need to mystify the planets again. Western science did a number on us. NASA did a number on us when it comes down to about what the planets are. Of course, they call grahas in the east.
You're listening to Self Radio.
But you know what I'm on. Like, last few videos I've been saying, as above, so below. Let's mystify this again, because planets make you just think these are just like rocks out here. It's just floating around. Like, why are they out there? Like, oh, they're caught in the planetary orbit of the sun, the gravitational pull. And like, no, these are called grahas, and they are agents of Vishnu. They're agents of God. They're angels of God. They're messengers of God. They are playing a certain role just like we are. They have a certain job and a certain function, which is the reason we say what these planets signify in the first place astrologically, and why they symbolically reflect factors here on the earth that make the earth the experience that's even worth living and experiencing in the first place. Because if Venus is love, Venus is beauty, Venus is women, Venus is vehicles, Mars is your will, your anger, the sun is the action, the moon is your mom, right? Mercury is your thoughts, the booty, the intelligence, the earthly intelligence that allows you to differentiate things, to see things in details, that allows you to formulate words and then shape the reality with those words, because Mercury was given the earth element, the earth topple. What would a tree be if we didn't have the word to define a tree? Like, what would a sword be if we didn't have the word and the ability to define that this is a sword? Jupiter is faith, optimism, higher knowledge, higher wisdom, higher philosophy, the what ifs, the don't look down on life. Life could be so much more greater, so much more expansive. The looking forward to what the next day could bring. Saturn is restriction. Saturn is time. What would, if any of these things disappeared that I said, what would the reality be? It wouldn't be this. It would be something different. So what I'm saying is, they are playing a role because they have a job and a function to maintain the harmony of this particular reality or this existence that we are experiencing. If you're a soul and you have it in the human experience, they are the ones who play the role of making sure that you have a human experience. And the senses can have something to latch on to be attached to for you to have this experience of life. So the grahas, gravitational pull, planetary orbit, these things are ultimately interests. So they have an interest, and that's why they don't fly away and get caught in another solar system's orbit. Why don't they go fly to Sirius and get caught in the orbit of Sirius or Betelgeuse or some other bigger sun that's bigger than our sun? When you think about it like that, you feel me? So think about that. How does that mirror down here? Let's look at relationships. Because again, as above, so below. The grahas, the planets, they also call them what? Celestial bodies. What do we live in? Human bodies, but these are earthly bodies. But do we have interests? Yes. We just not looking at it the same. But when you a boy or a girl and you like another person, that is an interest. You're interested in them. When you're interested in them, you want to get to know them. But in order to get to know them, you have to be around them. And when you are around them, you are ultimately in their orbit. You are in their gravitational pull. But the gravitational pull we call down here attraction. And that's the same thing that's going above. There's a gravitational pull because there's an attraction, there's an interest. The interest is in serving you because you are the soul. So the planets, they revolve around or in between the sun and Jupiter in the barycenter, right? And they're looking at the earth from our perspective. We look at them, they're looking at the earth. Saturn is always revolving around the earth. It's a visible planet that we can see revolving around the 12 zodiac signs around the earth. It's not going nowhere because it is time. It can't go fly off because then we will lose track of time. There would be no time. There would be no reason to monitor or think about time if Saturn flew away. There would be no restriction. What's the chances that Saturn represents restriction? What's the chances that Saturn represents restriction, right? But then he's the only visible planet with a ring. And we know that a ring also represents restriction. If I put this ring on my finger, it's going to restrict around my finger to the point where if I keep the ring on so long and then I gain weight, I won't even be able to take the ring off. And that's the level of restriction that Saturn represents. And that's why, again, in marriage, Saturn is exalted in the 7th house. The original sign of Libra is one-to-one partnerships in marriage, and there we put on the ring to signify Saturn. And that's just one of the many significance that go into marriage and how it reflects on Saturn. But I just want to show you again how these things are mirroring into our reality, and it's like not a game. Like they're trying to make this stuff seem like it's just rocks when it's something way more magical happening within us and outside of us. The planets themselves have planetary relationships with each other. But don't be deceived. Again, these grahas, they are intelligences and they have interest. The interest is into the soul fulfilling these karmas, and that's why they're caught in between the sun and they're caught in between Jupiter, which Jupiter has the highest gravitational pull among all the visible planets. But Jupiter, whether you know it or not, is also called Jiva, and Jiva means life. Jupiter is the significator of children, so Jupiter is the significator of life. Jupiter is the significator of the 5th house. And again, the 5th house rules children and governs life. That's why it's even a saying that if you don't want to learn your lessons, like life will teach you. But Jupiter is Guru, the heavy one. And if you allow life to teach you, sometimes life will teach you heavy lessons. So again, gravitational pull is nothing but attraction and interest. And again, that interest is into serving humanity, serving the soul in humanity. Sun is the soul. The planets revolve around the soul. Jiva is life. Jiva is the self. Jupiter is an alternative ascendant in Nadi astrology. That's how much Jupiter represents the self. And the video gonna close, but again, as above, so below. There's planetary relationships and there's earthly relationships, and then there are relationships between the earth and the planet, and that is gravitational pull.